You still get goosebumps when you're somewhere and you shove a fader up and something just sounds perfect, and it's inspiring in that way where it triggers something in your brain where you're just like, yeah, today I nailed it on this. Hi, my name's Markwell. I mix front of house for Death Cab For Cutie. We are at the Ryman Auditorium in lovely Nashville. Right now we're touring with several RNDIs on stage that are taking care of our fractals. The inputs from there, adding some tone, making them sound a little more lively. And then out front, I'm using the little 6-space lunchbox with the 535, the 545, and the 543. Those are just on Ben's vocals at his main position and then his keyboard position. The two different compressors are just because I wanted to try out both of them. And they're great, just in separate ways, and they've worked out really well for me. I'm using the console preamp and then inserting the 2 channels per vocal, and it's going into the compressor and then into the primary source enhancer, and then back into the desk, and I'm doing a little bit of EQ post-compression. I really try to avoid bringing anything extra out, but I really just needed something to enhance his vocal, just really make it pop out of the mix. So when I went for this, I was looking to eliminate a 6-space rack that I'd traveled with for the last decade. And this has enabled me to just carry on with this in my smart RTA setup without having to check anything. And it really makes it mobile, and so we can go in anywhere, and I have the consistency of his vocal always sounding the same. The band wanted a more controlled guitar tone on this tour cycle, so they switched to fractals, and that was all good. And then we started rehearsals, and I thought they were a little lacking in tonality, so I put RNDIs on all of them, and everybody noticed a difference immediately. So anytime I have to use a fractal from now on, I'll throw an RNDI after it. Just makes everything sound better. When I think of Rupert Neve, I think of Transformers. That's the basis for this sound, and that's what you get when you buy a piece of gear like this. I remember being in middle school, and it was the lovely early 90s, and when you start reading in magazines about records being made, and you start seeing photos in the liner notes of people recording, and a record would say where it was recorded, on what console, on what tape machine, and it's just that name that's kind of synonymous with rock music.